ESL Pro League is brought to you in part by Logitech G, Pay Safeguard, TheScoreEsports.com, G2A, NVIDIA, and ESEA.
What's going on, everybody? Me and Yanko are back for our second set of games for the ESL Pro League. It is a Tuesday evening, and we are going to be talking about some Counter-Strike. How you doing, dude?
I'm awesome.
Yeah, you feeling good?
Looking forward to seeing my boy.
Yeah, are you ready to talk about your main man, Nico? Of course, old teammate, now in-game leader for mousesports.
Nope.
Oh, actually, has that changed now?
Yeah,
they've got the coach yet.
Yeah, once they brought Cbble back, now Cbble is doing the in-game leading.
Okay, well, it is going to be mousesports, as we've already mentioned, battling versus Dignitas. These two teams have definitely met in the past, and currently things are looking slightly brighter for mousesports. 5 wins under their belt, just 3 for the Danes. But I'll throw it over to you, Yanko, to introduce these two teams further.
Yeah, obviously, I mean, the story for Dignitas is that they had a rise early on in the year, but then, failed to qualify for the major, where they were the favorites to do so, while mousesports, on the other hand, did manage to make that happen for themselves. They also had a great run at Katowice as well at IEM, although unfortunately they didn't manage to pass the group stages, had 2 extremely close games against Luminosity and Fnatic, so it's definitely both of these teams are, I think, really close. They played a couple of times against each other, mostly online. Mouse beat Dignitas in the Katowice qualifier, actually, I think it was actually the game for the spot at the tournament, while on the other hand, Dignitas beat them in the qualifier for the Global Esports Cup in Lithuania. They beat them at Leipzig as well on LAN in a best-of-2 pretty handily, 2-0.
Yeah, and actually the results at Leipzig, I had them in front of me, they were like pretty ridiculous. Yeah, 16-4 on Cobblestone with Dignitas, of course.
Mirage was a bit closer. It was, I think, 16-13. But yeah, it was a pretty straightforward game for Dignitas, who, in my opinion, Cobble is, alongside Mirage, their best map. And in my opinion, Cobblestone, it's actually a map where they can compete with Tier 1 teams. I think they're really good on it. They had a couple of wins against Envious, against Virtus Pro, had close games against Navi and Fnatic as well in Barcelona. So I think it's probably their strongest map right now.
And with all that said and done, let's address the elephant in the room, or rather the Serbian in the room. That is, of course, yourself. You used to play alongside Nico. Yep. Very quickly, I'm sure you've talked about this 1,000 times already, but could you outline, at any point did you think this guy was going to be the star when you were playing with him?
Of course, I knew it from day one. Basically, me and my friend Kasad, my teammate as well, he always had a lot of potential. You could see the raw aim he had at the beginning. It was just incredible. When we managed to get into the practice group and practice with all the Tier 1 teams, he was still playing the same as he was against lower tier opponents. He was still, wrecking people and so on. And in time, he also managed to get a lot of game sense. He widened his game as well. At first, he was just a great aimer, right? But sometimes he would make bad decisions and so on. But he really matured as a player. And I was really questioning the decision for him to in-game lead the mousesports when they made those changes. I thought it would be too much of a burden for him. I
think a lot of people did,
it would affect his game, and he's the kind of a player you just want to let him do what he's best at, because if you do that, he can win you rounds and games by himself. But he also was pretty good in that role as well, so I don't know, the guy can do it all.
He certainly can, and I mean, yeah, I think a lot of people were surprised by that in-game leadership choice, but as you can see, the knife round has already been done and dusted. That's a big sign. That's production saying, shut up, Yanko. Shut up, machine. The cast is about ready to begin. Unfortunately, we haven't had too much time to speculate and discuss, but we will have the opportunity to do post-match and pre-match for our second map. So that's where we'll dive a little further in depth. But I will give you some time with your prediction. I feel a little bit of bias might be present here.
No, I think that Dignitas is going to take Cobble. I feel they're a superior team on the map, even though Mouse had that close game against Luminosity, but it's not really one of the strongest maps for Luminosity either, I feel. So I would have to say for map 1, it's going to go Dignitas' way.
And I would love to ask you why Dignitas are so good at Cobble, but we can't. Instead,
no time.
We're going to be heading over to your casting duo for this one. It is, of course, the Aussie and the Brits. Take it away, you two.
Thank you very much, guys. Yes, we're not going to waste too much time here with pleasantries or introductions.
Into the game.
Straight into the game here as well. Now, history favours Dignitas against mousesports. History favours Dignitas on this particular map, Lauren. But we're into the pistol and see how this one plays out.
Yeah, the raid boss didn't have any armor there, which was MSL, so he gets taken down pretty swiftly in the end. That was Spitty claiming it. And actually, mousesports stacking out towards his B side hasn't gone too well. They had about 3 players, maybe almost 4 there at that point, but actually it really didn't manage to stop much at all. So again, Dignitas going to kick things off well. And let's see how they build. I can't wait to get Yanko's thoughts after this game. He's one of the players, and another guys actually, should I say, who can really break down mousesports quite intricately, especially with Nico there. But at the end of the day, as I said, this is Dignitas' one of their strongholds.
Yep.
One of the ones where you see people like Cbble, Config having these big games, and MSL's not in this huge pressure situation to always perform with the AWP, and he actually comes into his own. So into this one we go. A bit of a tentative start here towards the A side of things. Dennis and Chris J just doubling up in danger with just the pistols. Going to try and get a rifle away, do what they can. But Cbbe's got an idea. He's like, I don't trust that little archway down there. Screw that.
Clever.
I'm just going to watch it with those little hawkish eyes. And we're seeing the counter boost as well, coming out from MSL and Config a hell of a lot down by drop. They're just waiting to see if someone boosts up, which is relatively common, to be fair, just because you want to try and do a little bit of damage. You know you're going to be coming into this with really quite lacking weapons in comparison, of course, to the opponents. And again, if you can get away with it, do it, and just see what happens, because more than likely than not, the CT sides will often stack out drop, because it's so common to try and just bounce down there.
mousesports are slowly drifting over to B to match this focus for Dignitas right now. So we'll see if they can get there in time, because Robino's already made his way out, but Next takes him down instantly. But here comes the real damage as Cbble manages to spray on towards Spit, and there's MSL coming out of drop. He's traded in. Next picks that one up. He's going to go down pretty quickly as well. Chris J had a long walk to get into the action, and Dignitas get their second one here. 7 rounds is all that mousesports have gotten away from Dignitas in their last 2 meetings on Cobblestone. One game they got 3, one game they got 4. So this is not favoured for them, definitely. And it's not a great start here after Dig got that pistol in that second round.
Yeah, again, I wouldn't be surprised to see almost the same thing from Dignitas. It seems like a decent default, but then again, they know that mousesports has absolutely nothing this round. Maybe like a upgraded pistol if they really want to go for it, which is, well, actually they've got 2 and a flash, but it is what it is. This is going to be an all-platform hit right now. 5 players. Config's going to back around just in case there's a flank coming in. Leave MSL to be the guy at the front because he's got that Mac 10. Wants to get the bank there. Molly goes in. Going to try and cut them off from getting close towards the rock, but the player in drop's going to get a little bit of an angle. That's Spitty, who decides to take on his teammate even then. And Cbble coming in for the cleanup with Tensky. So again, very clean rounds. How many did they lose at the start of this? So out of the first 3 rounds, 5 players lost. Dignitas doing great damage with what they had. Got a good couple of plants in as well. So again, money for Dignitas is going to be good. No AWP to be seen this early on. Obviously, mousesports don't quite have that option just yet. Chris J just going to be on the M4. And again, Chris J actually shying away from AWPing on this map. That was something that happened when Godby was at the helm that used to baffle me and Henry. Because actually Chris J was great with the AWP originally on this map a long time ago. But maybe not feeling so comfortable with that recently. But we'll have to see how it comes through into the later part of the game. Again, the counter boost begins by drop. But we're seeing actually Cbble and Tensky way more proactive at trying to get control in A, but 3 players cheated over here early for mousesports could mean a real issue. Dennis could flash himself through this, or Next could flash him in, and we'll have to wait and see how that one unfolds, because that could have been a lot of danger for Dignitas for 0 gain at this point.
Yeah, I mean, Cbble in that moment was a little bit at risk there of being caught through danger, but no, you'll be able to get away. And the bomb is being dropped in halls here right now, so Dignitas just playing around and seeing where their next port of call is going to be. It may well be the B side at this stage here. 3 players for mousesports over a day. The extra attention drawn there perhaps after
Nico.
the spot on Cbble, but he does get himself across that Molotov and
Now,
himself up in the corner.
I would say the T side still has a couple of mollies to put out. One's probably going to go to drop. One could be used to clear the corners that Nico's going to be sat at. But this is going to be onto Spitty. He's going to turn the flash, readjust for it, and actually takes down MSL. That's good so far. That's cutting off the play. And actually, Dignitas is going to be ground down here. Robino does break through. That means there's now an access point. They can play through platform. Cbble has to hold these guys back, though. mousesports is starting to flood in and take the fights. Tensky joins him. This is good stuff from Dignitas, operating at a loss, still hitting the site perfectly, and winning just enough of those fights to break in, Mitch. But
yeah,
I think we've lost down a player there.
Oh yeah, briefly. That position from Tensky actually was really important. He managed to get past, it would have been Nico up on the platform and press through as well. It was looking a bit average there as well. Spitty managed to get himself 2 kills there, but Dignitas will hold on. Very, very quick reconnect there from the man in question. Now, mousesports, well, Spitty again going for the CZ, again going for a little bit of utility. I mean, the last few rounds we've seen the mousesports haven't been able to buy much. Spitty has still been making investments here as well. But a couple of kills with the CZ, and he will actually be able to give himself a little bank, but that does hinge on that fact itself. No, still no AWP option for Team Dignitas there. They're just going with all the AKs.
And actually, I don't mind Spitty upgrading. You can always just play drop with like a UMP or SMG. Wow. It's gonna be on a vacation soon, guys. Don't worry. No, really nice stuff clearing out. Again, mousesports going to try and take the stack towards B. It's not going to work. But yeah, I don't mind players upgrading who play drop. You can, like, Flush has shown us a million times that you can do it with just that UMP. It's annoying if you play without utility. But again, there's that boost coming in. And to be fair, Dignitas have been so aware that this is a possibility that they've been during playing that counter boost as well, just to see if that happened. This time Rabino gets a view. They maybe consider there's a stack here, but Dig have been quite hesitant. They put down the smokes now and the flashes to be able to work from it. But actually, it's going to allow mousesports to rotate a little bit, so there could be some damage here, Mitch.
Config now pressing forward as well. Most of mousesports managed to at least get to A to receive this push, and Nico and Chris J chiming in with those pistols simultaneously, able to down two Dignitas players, but eventually the tide will turn against them and did get their 5th round on the board here. Shutting down that first gun round from mousesports was important momentum-wise, and the bank is starting to build in a big way.
This is the round, though, Chris J's gone to the AWP, and I'm really pleased to see that. He avoids it a little on this map, but I think he can be a massive factor. Whether or not he gets to actually put it into place this round is yet to be seen, but MSL's got a good A spawn, so he could try and work off that, try and get some mid-control early, but I can imagine Chris J's going to go straight to long. Dennis is going to double up with him, maybe playing danger, but MSL is absolutely hammering it down. He's got the bomb, so he's be a little bit careful. Actually, Config's the one to go straight in towards this, or at least look towards it. Dennis is in danger. Chris J playing very passive very early on, so again, not wanting to take too many fights here and play a little bit deeper back, maybe aware that there could be rotates. Again, this map is so hard for CTs to be in the right place at the right time if you're not on those sites straight away.
And it was you that's saying as well, long can be fairly treacherous for CT players as well if they don't get that first peak working for them. Dignitas are happy to slow things down by the looks of things here. It's Rubino manning close towards drop room. MSL flashes himself in towards underpass and might want to squeeze his way up into danger as well. A great way just to apply extra pressure towards long here, but mousesports are going to be ready for it. Chris J sees the jump across and he goes for a little bit more. He gets Tensky, but MSL's there, finds Dennis, and now Chris has to give up to ground, but he gets the peek on towards MSL as he presses forward. Thinks about the flash, but knows timing may not be on his side. He goes for something, not sure what it would have been, but Config's able to cut him down.
And there's the counter kind of point from Rubino. He was lurking over by B. Now the timing would be good for it. He kind of underestimates that Next could be looking for that. Here comes the play, though. 2v2. The bomb's been spotted. They know where it is. This could be a really good crossfire. Spitty can just watch the cross. Next does find one, and there you go. Config gets shut down. I actually really dislike where Dennis was playing at the start. I think it's a one-and-done spot. I understand it's for the crossfire towards danger, so Chris J can watch long.
But MSL picked him off instantly,
right, and I really don't like that setup on long for that personally. I just think that maybe you could have more sustainability, because Chris J is always going to get pinched close. If Dennis goes down, they can easily overwhelm Chris J, and there's nowhere he can back to. So I'm kind of glad to not see him go in there. He's going to take himself out towards B, maybe expecting to be a little bit of a look towards that, or he just wants to find Rubino early and try and remove that threat, which he might just do. No, smoke goes down, and he's been actually going to just hop up into himself. So yeah, he's going to be playing towards plat. So that's that avenue attack completely removed. That allows Nico maybe to be a little bit more flexible in position. He could maybe head back a bit, maybe support over by A, try and get a little bit of a stack that way, or just kind of play in between connectors. So really good stuff from Chris J, actually. Even though he's not actually had a kill, just taking that presence will mean Dignitas now have to work twice as hard.
Yeah, it allows that early cheat over for Nico towards A as well, so we can be ready for this one. Else Config is rattling the cage in underpass right now. The smoke will prevent him from seeing anyone on the other side there. A little bit of shots through. Next, not connected onto any of them. And Chris J as well. We'll be able to sit here for a little while, I think. It's Spitty off towards the side. He'll be watching drop. Dignitas don't seem to be too interested in working that, though.
I would say there is an issue in the fact that Dennis and Nex are playing in spots that can be mollied out, and Dig still have two mollies to put into play. So whether or not they use them to try and clear these close corners as the game gets later in the day, but they might hear these steps from Rubino, so they might start expecting this. So first molly goes down from Mouse, that's going to slow them down further. And they actually saw the cross out from Dennis. They might want to try and avenge that or try and make the most of that. Now they're both stacked up on the same side. Great flashes coming out actually from the T side here. And it's going to be Config and Kiebi to get the kills, but there's still Dennis doing the damage, but he can't do enough. Now down to a 3v2. They've already got Kiebi on the site. Tensky and MSL need him to secure some of these angles before they can cross.
Chris J is a long way from getting involved in the action now. He has to push through smoke and get in towards storage, and Kiebi finds Spitty, so it is the 1v3 situation. Tensky will be pushing up fairly close to Chris J as well, wanting just to exploit him a little bit here, but Chris J might just have to give up some ground here. 1 round in fire and 6 for mousesports here as well, and they are at risk, of course, of being reset somewhat, so they'd like to hold on towards that AWP. Chris J is just going to make himself scarce here and just stay alive.
Yeah, you want to save this as much as you can at this point. The money's not going to be great, but the least you could do is try and hold on to it as best you can. So, going to cost Tensky his life. That's good, and actually no one else was lurking for that. So Kiebi and MSL will get to keep it, and really, those flashes towards mid were absolutely sick, though, from Dig, just completely blinding up the backup that Dennis had. I think it was Nex who was pushed close to him, quite possibly. So, yeah, a little unfortunate. They completely flashed out on that, but this is a great T-side again. This map, when Dig's playing it specifically, you see how T-sided it can be. You can see how much they abuse the long rotates. You can see how hard it is to get information on the CT side. And that's the main problem in this map, right? Again, if you watch ACS, you'll know this off by heart. Any CT side who's able to get information is either risky or absolutely sick at this map. Yep. It's one of the two, right? You can do the counter boost. You can try and get early presence towards platform. You could even be hyper risky and go for a playthrough long. But they're all going to be pretty much punishable. So again, if you're good on CT side, it's impressive more than anything. So Spiddy's gone for the Zeus because he's a scumbag. And now Chris J's going to be in the right place, but will it be the right time?
I'll just see if it's money well spent for Speedy here. As Chris will be the first to have to stand and deliver. How quick is he on the trigger? Not quick enough. Rubino able to spray him down. And now Nico, there's a lot of players above him right now, but he can't see the wood for the trees as he does sort of bypass him. At least he can get the drop, and Rubino would love to get himself an AK. Not quickly enough there. It's actually the AWP he got in his hands, and Kirby able to shut him down. Another one for Kirby, and next, sitting on the statue here as well. Can see Config. He knows there's a plant happening behind him. We heard the sound, but just too much going on all at once for Nex, and he had to settle with what he could get. I wonder if Nico intended to pick up that AWP instead of the AK that he took off Rubino there. Maybe a little bit unlucky.
Yeah. And again, we are... Chris J's had enough. He's like, screw this.
I'm out, boys. I'm out.
I tried really hard, and, you know, I'm not going to quote Linkin Park, but...
I was going to say, are we going down this road?
Not yet. Not yet.
To that point.
Not yet. For mousesports, this kind of sucks, though. Like, it feels like they've never had enough, like, an economy built up to actually stop this, for one. And even if they do, they've outdone on this, you know? It's simple as that. Like, Kirby, the thing with Dignitas is they have so many factors. They have a lot of win conditions for them to do, like, really well against tier 1 teams. At least in my eyes, like, it has to be the right map for one, which is, like, for me, it's like a Mirage, your Cbble, of course. And then you have to maybe bank on a minimum 2 players, I feel, turning up, one being Kirby. Config's always sick when he turns up. Or you have like an outstanding game from Tensky. Like, he comes from nowhere sometimes and does like super well. But I never feel like MSL is going to be like a tier 1 beta with the AWP, right? Like, he's great at what he does, but he's not going to be able to like take on your JWs or your Kenny S's, right? You know what I mean? And Rubino's just a solid player all around, but he's not the guy I see shining. It's the other guys. So I feel that Dig can be a sick team when they're actually like on point. And today you're seeing 2 of the big factors coming together. Well, 3, I guess, is the fact that you've got Kirby and Config playing well, and it's on Cbble. So, again, I think it's no surprise that even Yanko said that this should be a dig map to begin with. And mousesports seem a little dumbfounded at the moment. They are not in control of this map. They've never had the money to stop it. Maybe you could argue they could try and play for that double AWP. It does occasionally help, I guess. You could maybe have Nico pick up one, which he's been doing more and more often recently, and then Chris J on the other, but they're still relatively opposed to AWPing on this map. If you see Chris J's like AWPing stats specifically to Cbble in comparison to any other map, your Dust 2, even CT side Inferno, for example, things like that, it's very rare to see him picking up as much as he has been this game.
mousesports had an interesting week last week as well. Now we're talking about it. Chris J, welcome back. Getting the 2-0 against FaZe and then getting 2-0'd by Flipside. They could have been 7-7 after it.
Yeah.
5-9 means that Dignitas, if they can sweep the series, are going to go even with mousesports. They can jump up 3 places, and we'll be looking at that round difference there as well. And yeah, interesting stuff for mousesports, really. Dennis as well, continuing to have some problems. We saw him on the weekend, and he said, it was quite vocal, said, I'm not playing as well as I'd like to right now. I need to step up, and still continuing to underperform as well. And luckily, I mean, that's been able to be sort of glossed over by the rest of Mouse performing fairly well, but now this might be exposed a bit while they're behind. 4 players for Dignitas working their way over towards his A side. Kirby, a danger man as always, he's been a big part of Dignitas cracking Mouse open on the side of the map.
And again, kind of a stack for like an A split almost from the CT side here. 2 towards drop, 3 towards kind of A mid. MSL going to be just like barreling through. He's got 2 players close. Nice little pop flash in, and sadly for Nex, it actually blinds himself completely.
Config now waits. Rubino, if you think his position on the map is weird, it's because there was a boost, I think, for Nico into drop room. So that's why Rubino's sitting so far back. Might see him get involved later, but he may not have to there as Config and MSL getting work done. Config falling by the wayside, but still only 2 mousesports players left standing. Nico way over at D. Spitty going to fall down. He was that A player. He had the kit as well. And Nico has a long walk to even get involved. But MSL can quite happily just take this bomb over to B. And Nico will be caught oscillating between the 2 with no real idea of what's going on.
Nico's Deagle. Don't get me wrong, he can do damage, but look at that bomb rotate. Even against a team on like a really shoddy buy, they're still playing this map so well. They take absolutely nothing for granted. They can get the player who's on the rotate now through drop in towards position by connector. They've spotted out where Nico is. If they feel maybe confident, they can chase him through connector. And sadly for Nico, he's kind of out of position here, but he's got a rifle and he's going to do some serious damage with it still, but it's not going to equate to a round at this point. MSL is going to find him, and Diggs' T-side is absolutely sick.
Yeah, 5 rounds mousesports, lost in a row, then they got 1, they got reset. Now they've lost another 3, and you can see Dignitas thinking about the money game, making sure that Nico wasn't able to hold on to that AK. Fortunately for the man himself, he actually had enough money and is going to be buying up a secondary AWP here as well. So double AWP setup coming in for mousesports. Spitty, Chris and Nico don't have a lot of utility to work with here as well, so we're just going to have to see them hit the shots. It's going to be very, very important. They lose out a lot over towards long and danger, so Chris J, early peek forward, not going to yield too much information though.
And this is the double AWP I wanted to see. This could be the change. This is like a little bit of a final gambit almost, you know what I mean? It's like, well, we've tried everything up. Oh, Chris J, your timing could be awful. He's so scared of danger that he's ignoring the fact that Long could have pushed up here and this could be a pop flash over. Exactly. Dennis has just kind of resigned himself to holding a little further back. Chris J is so vulnerable to this. I almost want him just to fall back to site. He doesn't need to be this far out here. But again, if he gets a pick and can fall back, great. But there's the flash coming over. He's just about seeing it. He's going to try and run away as quick as he can. MSL and Config was so close to be able to punish that. But now he's still holding that kind of like slightly further back position. Here's the utility, and now he's backing away. So he gets the info, backs away from it. But then again, remember, Mouse can't leave B either. There's been so many slow, late in the round rotates coming out that means that Nico's pretty much like, has to be here. Simple as that. There's no two ways about it. But what did Dig do now? Finally, they've seen that, okay, well, Christian's got Naught. Okay, they're being pretty passive. Okay, we push them back to the sites. What do we do now we've got them in this spot? Yeah,
it's extreme amount of map control available to Dignitas now. What they do with it, though, is another thing completely. Tensky did get legged earlier on by Chris J, so you're going to be a little bit low pushing forward. We'll probably see him take a bit of a backseat, or maybe even just try to be a spearhead conversely and just throw himself into it. But Nico going to be patiently this whole round. MSL, like he did last round, has brought the bomb through, and there you go, Rubino dropping down. Nico backing away here, so MSL now has to pressure B on his own if that's where he's going to go. And this is nice from mousesports. They've actually played into this very well. MSL's left on his own. He's got a pressure on towards his site himself. Gets a spray down on Nico, who misses the AWP shot at close range. Smoke for Dig. MSL getting across 1 point of health, but a bomb plant here will be forthcoming, but cut down immediately after that.
In the end, good stuff from Nex more than anyone, who's been a player on the rise, to be fair. A name that I didn't mention yet. Easy Nex. I guess they're just trying to find the AWPs at this point, yeah. So they could try and still pick up the AWP if they could.
They got it.
They may be looking for the double. I don't think they're going to get that, but yeah. At the end of the day, yeah, they're actually still going to go for it. They're going to try and find Chris J's AWP. They want the double AWP on the CT side again. There you go. Now they got it. Now he can defuse. Yeah, Nex has been on the rise recently, so credit to him for having a big round this time. Good to see the double AWP paying off and them able to keep it in the round. However, the money for the T side is very robust by here. They can have another full buy. No one AWPing really at this point for Dignitas. They like it with all the rifles, and it's been working with all the rifles. So, and how did Dignitas now approach it? They know there's a double AWP out for play. They saw how long that defuse took, so they know it's going to be recovered.
Yeah, and they did manage to catch off anyone pushing aggressively forward like Chris J was. I think timing actually ended up being on his side. He was able to get back towards the side. So now Dignitas just want to punch through all in one, and they're going to have a maximum of 1 AWP player to deal with here as well. Bit of a set play here towards B. I like it. That's A. That's B. Thank you, Rushy. And Nico flashed up slightly there as well. Kirby crossing the fire there as well. And Dennis is shrouded by smoke right now. We'll see if he can pop through and actually create opportunities. He's playing up quite close. Config exceedingly low on health, but he comes forward, tries to get a bit of damage, and won't succeed. Falling down. Now, Tensky had the bomb. He's had to back away to Chicken Coop here as well, so that's limiting Dignitas' options for even a bomb plan. And I don't think they would expect to get too much more now as Rubino having to take on most of mousesports head on. He will eventually fall. The mousesports get another one back there as well. Dignitas already with 8 rounds on this T side. Pressure definitely mounting, and they can continue to buy at least for this round.
Yeah, and I've got to say though, mousesports then, once they saw those kind of set smokes coming over, all of them like fell away from the site and played from, I guess, rock or by connector or by drop. And as long as they didn't get caught out by MSL or anyone coming through drop, that was going to be a secure round. So smartly played by them.
That's what they did on the round before that, the double AWP round when they were holding A. Right back towards A. And yes, map control for Dignitas, but they didn't use it very well. Nice little boost there. Config takes down Nico, and that would have been an important play there for mousesports to bring things back. It's going to be Molotov lazily lobbed down into drop, and MSL looking to follow it up with some damage.
Yeah, and don't forget that you've got Tensky and Cbble just slowly lurking towards A while all this happens. As soon as Nico went down, you saw Chris J pull himself in towards B because they expected a B hit.
Perfect.
And now he can't go away. He has to stay here because his team are trading out. It's a 3v2 on B. But Cbble and Tensky are still like, guys, like, I'm just going to wander A, see how this goes. Like, I'm feeling confident. If Config can split through drop, that'd be perfect. But Chris J denies that. Now he knows there's something up. Now he's got to worry about this A side, but the bomb's not there. Now, they don't know that, though. 1 minute left, 2 flashes. They have no smokes for this cross. I doubt that smoke will still be in place. So they've got to be a little bit cautious towards that door. Cble's probably going to wait for that final flash. Maybe no, the smoke's still up, actually. So Robino will make it across, but Chris J's going to try and get a bit of a shot towards the side. Gets challenged down. Didn't expect the player right in towards the corner. And Dig have 2 players locked towards the side side of this, and Tensky down by the ramp. And there you go, Tensky falls. It's down to a 2v3.
Stunning peek by Nex there. That's really opened things up for mousesports. And Dennis actually charges forward, finds Robino. Cbble, last hope for Dignitas in this round. Chris J and Dennis will be approaching here as well. Cble's going to have to dodge and dive a little bit there. He's not able to get the spray, and he actually fires at the more rear player, and Chris J just peeks the closer angle at him. Only 9 points of health left for that man. Still, mousesports defuse and get it back. It's been 3 in a row for them here. 2 of those have been defuses, so you can see the mousesports are definitely having to play these retakes, but they're winning them, and that's all that matters.
And I wonder if they're going to go for the double AWP next. Could drop it out. No. So singular AWP back into this one. Maybe Nico just had enough. He's not really making much of an impact with it, if I'm honest. It's more the presence, I guess, of it, or how they've been playing it with it in play. It's been working out. But now Dig, as you said, the money's been okay, but now it's broken. Config's with a Tech 9. He's not exactly perfect. Everyone else is good, though. Now Chris J backing away from long. See what they do.
The most aggressive thing Nico can really do on the B side here is actually just boost up a little bit from drop. That's all. He can't push any deeper like maybe he could on a cache, for example. So yeah, it nullifies him. He actually has to be a doorstop for the most part, which is why he's probably been a bit quieter. That's Spitty now and drop. Dennis approaching now towards underpass as well. Chris J going to try and work this one with him. Great flash as well. That's going to render Chris J almost useless, but the pistol comes in through the flash. He gets MSL, but that's a big loss for mousesports and a great opening here for Dignitas. Next is going to have to rotate through pretty quickly. No chance for Mouse to recover that AWP, by the way. That's well and truly in enemy territory. And Dignitas can press this site with 4. Config actually has the AWP recovered from MSL. Bomb planted. Config can stand back. Tensky as well. Spitty and Nico now are just going to retreat to the B site.
I actually really like this boost. It's so risky, but I actually kind of like it on the site. But yeah, again, looking at this, what's the money like for mousesports right now? Can we get a little tab? A little tabby tab? It's worth saving these. Fair enough. But yeah, Dignitas recovering. This is the thing, and they never look all that out of it, which is scary, right? It's like, most teams, once they kind of get their plans read into in this map, you're just like, oh, okay, well, that's that done, you know? But actually, they've recovered really well. So Bomb going to go pretty soon, and Spitty and Nico going to retain theirs. And Dignitas keeping 4 into this, and actually, I guess Config keeping hold of that rifle, or just going to Tech 9 into this has actually paid off, because now he's going to keep the rifle, be perfectly well set, and the utility's absolutely perfect with Dignitas again. And you look at mousesports, they've got enough money to get something together, but not a great deal.
And that's because the round before that one, they actually only had 1 player left as well, so sensible for them to go for the 2-gun safe there as well. They need to, well, finish the half, hopefully with another couple of rounds here, but Dignitas going with all the AKs again, like you said. Plenty of utility to work with here as well. And they might just force their way onto the B side as a team as well. They've done this last time. They just grab AKs and they just force their way on. Let's see those.
Jesus, those many flashes. So many flashes are sent flying down towards B. Again, mousesports like to fall back here, and it actually worked out very well last time they did this, because Dignitas overextended.
Great nade.
A little bit of a dunk nade comes out from Config. Gonna do nicely off that. Follows up well towards Spitty. Gets a spray towards Chris, but doesn't land the proper shot. Cbbe's gonna close it, and this is gonna be a solid half.
Config there tried to spray transfer, I think, from the drop opening on towards Chris J, but that's wishful thinking when he's already lined you up around the corner. Dignitas gets another one there as well, and, well, money for mousesports on this last round of the half. Not good at all. It's pistols and some utility for some of them. Next has to settle for armor, helmet, and just a USPS here as well. So 11 and 4 for Dig would be a stellar result for them as well, but we expect not much less here, but mousesports have already equaled their total from Leipzig against them on this map. So improvement, but maybe not enough at this stage.
I actually quite like the stack-ish towards A at the moment from mousesports. Just playing close up. Good about Chris J.
Chris?
He's just like a turret that's gone rogue. He doesn't know what he's shooting or who
Just
it is.
bloodlusters, right? He's just,
But he nailed the shots until Cbble finds Dennis. So they know there's another player on long now.
that sucks for Dennis. He's had a tough game. He just gets sprayed down through smoke there. Wasn't even really doing anything wrong, just
I was stood in the wrong place.
Exactly, and sometimes that just comes down to chance. He's 3 and 13 as well, so rounds at mousesports 1, he's been integral, even just with maybe 1 frag or so, but still, he's off the table. So are 2 Dignitas players here, and they're going to still try and work A. They're persisting until they head down danger in towards underpass now, and that will give them the option, of course, to rotate away from this A site. But look at this, a bit of a fake. In fact, Config and Cbble went to danger, now coming back up. Next, not looking at them, and Chris J is. You can see he's got the line up there. Spitty has to stay at B right now. Doesn't really have any options. So smoke coming in. Config picks up next. Beautiful little passage of play there, and that's going to allow them to cross most of the way to this bomb site without Chris J being able to do anything about it. He has to trade now, and Spitty has to come forward, nothing but a CZ, and trying to play long angles with a CZ. He's just might have to hug a wall on his way up here or something. Try and find Rubino. Yeah, he's just got to stay really close, and there's just nothing he can really do here. Just a smoke.
Crossfire. Is set.
Oh,
How
Spitty.
long? He knows it as well. Good
I just want
damage.
to bangarang swing out on towards his right and then get behind
You reckon?
the armoured truck. But no, it wasn't going to happen there. So mousesports only amassed 4 rounds in that first half, and Dignitas definitely in keeping with history, looking dominant. They're 14 and 5 on Cbble actually in the last few months. I think I might have showed that before, but that's pretty impressive stuff from them. Although they actually got wrecked by CSGO Lounge 3-16 about a week ago.
As you do.
And then lost to Hellraisers. Yeah, well, actually lost to Hellraisers 7-16. But yeah, I mean, their games through the Malmo qualifiers have been very up and down for them as well. They were exhausted over the weekend. I saw MSL tweeting about it. So fair enough. Fair enough. But this time it's looking much better.
I really want a Hogwarts mod for this map, you know?
It kind of already looks like it though as well. What do you want to add a bit more Dreer, a couple owls flying around the spires perhaps? McGonagall just peering out the window angrily.
You know it. All about that life.
I could go for that.
Into the second half though, mousesports on the T side. And MSL gets all the information, but 0 kills. Takes Nico down. I guess that's the one player you want to do a lot of damage to, but actually Dignitas on a long old rotate. They're around the back. Tensky and Config need to do the damage on the cross, but Den's going to take the fight. As well, actually. It was Nex in the end. I was so ready to say Nico. That's depressing, isn't it?
This is a very important pistol round for mousesports. I really need to start getting these rounds back here. And Cbble will just be tentatively peering over that little low stone fence, and Spitty got himself in a spot just to remove Tensky from the map. So Nico, 9 health by the way. And I think he got 2 kills with just 9 health. So that's pretty darn good. In my humble opinion. It's just Cbble now as well. And all of mousesports sat over on A, so it should be a pretty comfortable win for the Germans. And yeah,
Can you call them Germans, Mitch? Just to really angry?
No, I can't anymore because I mean,
Chris J.
Yeah, Chris J's Dutch, and then of course
Nico.
Serbian, or is he from Bosnia?
Oh, just say both, just to really annoy.
No, I don't want to annoy anyone. That's why I actually normally I try and avoid that kind of classification here because it's rare now and he's supposed to have players all from the one place, but unless you're renegades, straight up.
Straya.
I'm just going to get my
Dignitas are
wobble
all
board out.
Danish, right?
Rubino's
no.
Norwegian.
Oh,
Wrecked.
God.
Wrecked.
Vino, why'd you gotta do this?
I already said it, Nerd Lord. I'm on the ball.
Stop calling me a nerd lord.
No, I'm talking to Rush. He typed in chat.
Oh, that's fair then.
Yeah, stuff you, Rush.
Feel free to abuse Rush at any time you want, guys at home. He's the office punching bag.
Or at Rushly12345 on Twitter as well. Or maybe some of you might want to, encourage him on his observing. That's also fine.
Yeah, you can be nice in like a sarcastic way. You know what I mean?
So that's like Lauren. Like she might say something nice, but she follows it up with something like
we can't
kind
say
of
it
savage as well.
Can't say it on air.
Okay, not that one.
Okay. All right, Tensky. What you got? You got 3 players in front of you. A hope, a dream, and a 5-7. All dashed. There's mousesports. At least start things off well now. Here we go. Do you believe, Mitch?
In mousesports?
In the comeback.
Yes, I do. After the Fnatic game, I believe in anything. That was just stupid. Especially that Nico finished there as well. We've all seen it. Mousesports can do it. Do I think they will? Probably not. But believing doesn't necessarily mean you think it's a certainty. So I keep myself safe here. As I said, I'm no analyst.
True. And Dignitas, I guess, gonna try and do what they can, but sadly, wrong site, wrong time. Cbble, the one who saved that armor previously, or tried to, shall I say. Gonna be the one close to this site, and really not much to be seen here. And Dennis in a good position to catch a rotate, so easily done for him. I'll knock him down, and that little piece of armor is just gonna be shredded away. And they're gonna know they've invested in armor at this point. You can always tell. Pretty much.
Yeah, it would have been far. It would have been about half the time to get that kill.
So. For them, they're going to know what they're coming up against in the next couple of rounds. But you've got to be careful. There's a lot of rifles out for grabs here, and obviously Dig would love one of those.
Config now, having just been flashed and kept at bay here by mousesports, who are coasting through these last couple of rounds pretty nicely. There's Chris J. Config is gobbled right up. And it's slightly irritating tick, obviously, indicating that Dignitas are out of time. Not that we're going to do anything with it anyway. Cbble just wants to keep the Mag 7, so fair enough. He has a bit of armor, so...
Yeah, all about keeping the armor at this point. And to be fair, they can just kind of like stack up, try and do something at this point. On the amount of money they've got, they kind of just have to do, you know, scramble together. There's nothing else you can do here. And for mousesports, this is good. They can start building up a little bit of confidence, being like, all right, guys, we can actually bring this back. It's 6 to 11. It's not that bad. You've done the initial work. We just can't lose this round.
Yeah, I mean, for mousesports here as well, their margin of error is very slim in this half. At least until they build up a bank of a few more rounds here. I mean, get to 8 and 11, then you can start talking about some maverick plays. But for now, it's all about pulling your socks up and playing it sensibly.
Cbble. He saved this gun for so long. And he's put it to good use there. There's the first. He's got to be careful.
That armor.
It's doing work. Not as much as you'd like.
No, but I mean, you know, mousesports are actually readier than a lot of teams I've seen to actually trade in those Galils and stuff for AKs, and yet that armor save very important.
Look how ready Mouse are for this boost. They heard the jump up, and I think it's Nex who's watching that from the other angle. Knowing, you know, CSGO's timing, as soon as he looked away, that was going to be the push, but actually he spots out well. Can't land a shot to save his life on it, but get it back out. I guess Rubino gets the information in the end. But more than anything, he'll probably just speed up what mousesports want to do now.
Yeah, he knew Nex was there. Didn't know anything about where Nico was. So that was a quick rotate from mousesports as well. MSL's going to be encircled and enveloped and overwhelmed. Hopefully, eventually, maybe. Yes, but he gets a finish on him now as well. And Tensky and Rubino are in no position to get to aid any. Not nearly quick enough. So they're going to go and have a look at the artwork in halls as well and maybe see if they can find a way to their common room. Huh. What's the password?
Wasn't it like sherbet lemon?
Yeah, well, it's been many things, to be fair.
Yeah, true. I like the Dragonlord picture on this, though. That's always quite nice.
Yeah. It's quite fancy, the big panorama.
I was kind of tempted to, you know... I saw these pictures with, like the... what's it called? It's the monster one. Oh, my brain has gone to absolute rot. But some people have been getting the artwork from skins and CSGO.
For the Hyper Beast, are you?
Yes, that's it. And they put it into like posters. I think that's kind of cool.
I like that.
Might put it in the office.
I've seen, I've seen like the jackets as well. Like trying to turn skins into clothing.
That's a bit keen.
Bit interesting for me. I'm not quite the edgy kind of guy to go for that.
I reckon you are. I think you're like just the level of edgy, you know.
I don't know where to go with that one. Really.
Maybe we can get you like a Back to the Fuchsia skin. As like as a jacket.
Oh, I wouldn't mind that actually. I actually use that skin on my CZ. So.
Yeah. Damn, I was trying to throw like a little curveball out there, but
not bad.
Caught me. All right, this is the interesting round though. At this point, clean stuff from mousesports, or clean enough to put them in a good situation to get that full buy-in. And now they've actually got themselves back in a shot with this game. But the first gun round is going to be important here. Dig do not have the full utility they'd want. You can see it's limited. There's no mollies there. There's a limited amount of diffuse kits as well, and they've double stacked up on long. So Tensky and MSL. Extremely close.
You've voiced your concern about this double stack before, and it's going to go pretty much the way you might have expected it if you listened to Lauren. It was Tensky and MSL dashed aside now as Kevy trying to hold on, and Nex will fall. But he's got players behind him as well, so he needs to jump down into underpass as quickly as he possibly can. And that Molotov wasn't quite quenched in its totality, so Rubino was taken down to 44, but great picks as he crosses to that side. Config hearing Nico coming, and now Spitty is on his own here, just behind the wall. And have Kirby coming up behind him as well. Utility-wise, he's got 2 flashes to work with. There are, 3 players 120 degrees apart, all ready to rip him to pieces, and it was Kirby who gets that opportunity now. Dignitas finally get that round back. First of the half, and a chance to stabilise and start to finish things off.
Yeah, good stuff from Dig then. A little surprised, if I'm honest.
Yeah, the double stack on long is
and
one
still
you've
recovered.
Pretty unimpressed about, but Rubino I think
don't
was
like
pretty
it.
sick.
Yeah, Rubino on the rotate did pretty much all the damage, but yeah, I don't actually like it that much. I don't know why. I just haven't seen people being super successful in it in a while. Like, I remember Kenny and Apex used to be able to like dismantle it so perfectly and actually play it on the other side very, very well. But that was some time ago now, I guess, if you're talking about Envy. Yep. But again, yeah, looking at this round, this is maybe a little bit better with mousesports as well. Chris J on the AWP. Again, I'm glad to see him not being opposed to this because it seemed to be a bit of a trend for a while. They stayed away from it, but MSL and Tensky could have some trouble. But if you often like look at mousesports play, you'd see Nico on one side of the map and pretty much the rest of the team on the other. But here he's actually even better at it. You look at players who can do this. So you're happy he does this quite a lot. You see players you're often like trying to play towards platform, being the distraction. Currently he's keeping 3 players here, bearing in mind. 3 players from Dignitas are locked to the side because of him. However, if his timing's off, he just gets picked up and does nothing. If it's right, you can look behind, you can cut off players, you can do everything from drop. But the rest of Mouse has to sell this. They have to, actually commit to it. But Dennis actually is slow walking back towards Nico.
Yeah, I mean, Nico hasn't opened anything off yet. So that's maybe one point of concern, but Rubino's half rotated and Kirby is already at ace. So maybe a little bit of an early trigger pull there for Team Dignitas, as mousesports have got those 3 players floating on that ace side, but they're not doing a whole lot in terms of advancing the objective here. Next now rotating back to towards the B side. MSL waiting for Chris to push, and Chris is selling it reasonably well, I like to feel, as with the AWP lead as well. Bit of a centerpiece to his team, so people start to think that maybe the rest are there, but there's Nico on towards B, and that's is sick. All you need to do. That's
amazing that Mouse were able to pull, what, 3 players from Dignitas over here, and even the 2 remainders on B were so, unconvinced it was going to be a B hit. They're already considering having to rotate. So, again, good stuff from Mouse on that one. Just Chris J playing the long con, I guess, and this, you've seen the foot just cross the left side there. Now he's worried about, is there someone creating a crossfire here? Is someone watching his push, or can I get a free kill? Hello. Yep. Nicely done for Chris. Going to take down Tensky. And MSL's in a bit of an awkward spot, so I don't know if someone's going to just walk past. I doubt Chris J would risk it. But then again, it's Chris J, he might do. But yeah, sick stuff from Mouse on this T side. Nico finding those 2 openers was impressive, but it was more the fact that they pulled all the players away from B that were integral to it over towards A.
And then Chris J as well spent his time there, flashed in. Like I was stumbling across saying as well, as the AWP, getting some attention going in this direction. So, here it is. mousesports break back after that one. Dignitas, only the 1 solitary round so far as well. And Chris J, we talked about him a lot. We said, is he going to go for the AWP? Confidence maybe playing in there as well. I mean, look at Pimp as well. Pimp feels the need to apologise when he plays the AWP to people sometimes. But Chris J, unapologetic in the way he's been using that one. And it's good to see him slot comfortably into that one. We've seen some freaky stuff from him over the last few days, and the weekend was pretty crazy. But he's being sensible here, and it's working.
Alright, so Dignitas with a B stack, 4 players over towards this, pretty much on the pistol. MSL the one with a rifle, going to be soloing out on A. Nico, do you dare? Do you dare? How many eyes would be trained on you stepping out there? Currently, 4.
He can sell ice to an Eskimo sometimes, I swear. He even goes for more than a shoulder peek. It's actually a bit risky if there's, anyone with an AK maybe watching towards there, but he got away with it. Now, MSL, though, quick double spray down. That's big. That really makes it pretty obvious where the push is going to go to now as well. But despite this, Tensky actually coming across to A. Config finds next, so that was nutty. He was just peeking his head over the corner. Now Nico has to try and get some back. Config gets the headshot, but not the finish. Still, Kirby will get it done. And what just happened? Mouse was looking so good into that one, and just MSL and Kirby really on Config as well, of course, with his CZ work. Stunning.
Where are they all going?
They'll be back.
Okay. But please don't do it 1 by 1, guys, because Chris J will thrive in these situations. I can imagine MSL screaming, just stop, wait for me to get there before you do anything right now. Because Chris J's going to try and find one more, and he might just get it. Kirby's right around that corner. He's going to land it. Chris J takes down 3. Now into the 1v1. Oh! And he gets the pistol out. Closes down towards MSL. And that is just sheer and utter punishment.
Should never happen. Ever. That should never happen. Dignitas, like you said, filed through on towards that side, and Chris J for him, I mean, still, he was in a position right now, he was 1v2, but he had 2 1v1s. So, yeah, go forward, get the pick on towards Kirby, and my God, the 1v4, that was pretty darn good. Pretty good. Yeah, great way to put it, Mitch. But mousesports get their round back as well. 3 rounds are in it, and Dignitas now, just armor and pistols. Tensky doesn't have any armor, but he's going to work with what he's got. But Nico on the rampage, he's looking for an opening on towards this site. He spread some damage across. Not enough to allow him to walk on yet.
Can Dig playing this kind of game where it's like, I don't know, it feels like they're playing like they'd early in this game, like they'd already closed it out. Like, you don't lose rounds like that to Chris J. Like, I don't know. This is when they're gonna have to be like, okay, we need to pull up the straps on our boots and just focus in on this one. Can't let it slip. We're bringing these rounds close, but mousesports are in such a good spot now. This is a real issue. What a joy to watch between these two. There's now Dig gonna be forced around this map. The bomb yet to commit, really. And Cbble looking for something. Dig's not really in the right place, but doing a good bit of damage. Actually, Cbbe's found Nico, and MSL finds Dennis. So we're in a 4v3. What are these rounds, mousesports? You can't keep depending on people like Christian to close it down. These should be clean rounds, bearing in mind. And finally, the cleaning crew turns up, but it's down to a 2v2, and Config's yet to show himself. And he still finds Spitty? What is going on, Mitch?
Chris J now left on his own. Can he do it again? Got a big task in front of him here. At least he's carrying the bomb, so he doesn't have to go and find that one. He's going to try and pressure Config now. Sets it up, gets the 1v1, and now he's looking for MSL, and he has a good idea of where the captain may be from Dignitas. Does he get the peak? MSL comes out with the deagle, shuts him down, and says, not again.
How have they done this so many times in a row now, Dignitas? mousesports should never let that happen. Never should you let that. Okay, once you learn from your mistakes, right? You think they're going, guys, all right. What is that? What is going on, guys? Like, come on, focus. Now for a second time, I'd be livid.
It shouldn't even been that close as well, though. I mean, Dignitas got themselves into a point where they could have just choked down on it there, but Rubino should have known that Nex was on the ramp, and he just pushed out a smoke right in front of him. Because Nex had just fired at one of Rubino's teammates inside storage, so I don't really know how that works. Bit of a mix-up between them, no doubt about it. Communication obviously is key as always. Now, Chris J has himself an AWP still, and it's just going to be Tensky to watch long right now. Good nade, Spitty down a half health. That's a solid hit. MSL is going to be as well following suit. Good little bit of early damage here as well. We wouldn't be complaining about it.
Nico doing what Nico does, trying to sell it. Trying to sell that we are anywhere but where you think. And that might force Tensky out of position. He's going to have to sit to a position he could jump over towards B, but again, look where Mouse are.
Tensky's not just going in between. He's literally walked into connector and is actually going to set himself up here on this flower bed. So that leaves MSL on his own inside. Yeah, right next to, of course, underpass here as well. So mousesports have a power play opportunity here, whether they know it or not. I have to see if timing favours them or if they decide to go for it. Nico has, you could sell Fosters to an Australian as well, and that's an effort. We hate that stuff. We don't even know if it exists. As MSL comes across the face of that one, though, is just trying to hold mousesports up as well as he can. Next, not affected whatsoever by the flash. He turned it beautifully and he picks Rubino as he tries to challenge. And there's MSL as well. Next, looking really good this game, I'm not going to lie. He was already quite low in health before he took that challenge.
It's actually going B after all of this. They've done like the double fake, essentially, or maybe
dizzy
triple.
From these rotations.
Yeah, back and forth we go on a map that really doesn't allow for many. Config's the one closest by it, and really their money's not perfect on Dig, so it could be worthwhile trying to keep hold of these guns, but Tensky's having to fight pretty hard to keep hold of his, as Config is so close by. He's probably going to be checked on here. Nico's probably going to look pretty soon. He's just going to hear these steps, like...
Oh, I had the knife being pulled out there, Spitty. Not ideal timing for him here. Dignitas bring it to a 2v3 now. Do they dare and challenge this one? They don't have really much money at all to work with here as well, so there's definitely a large element of risk involved with them trying. No, they're not. Just going to sit back, and they're close, but mousesports are nipping at their heels as well, and Dignitas really need to string together some rounds if they want to close the game. And yeah, mousesports again have just found a bit of rejuvenation here as well. I'd have to say Chris J and Nex really looking very, very good here. Nico, again, not really in a situation where he can just reave through masses of players. Yep. He's just trying to sell it. He's the used car salesman over at the B side.
I'm still just amazed that Dignitas seem to do better when they're on pistol rounds. Mousesports seem to walk into it every time. But, I don't know, it's absolutely baffling. I can't believe rounds like that even get lost, Mitchell, honestly. And for mousesports to recover and then go back to these kind of like, okay, rotate here and there, let's try and pull players apart and actually play this like quite a tactical, well based on communication game. It's impressive they're able to reset, to be honest, because I'd be so livid losing those two, or almost losing one round and then, so close to losing the second in the same fashion. But hey, it is what it is, and we see a moonwalking chicken.
Is that? Okay. Doesn't have bunny ears.
I know, I'm a little upset at that.
Dude, he gets around. All right. Does he have like Mr. Sheen on the bottom of his feet or something? So
Rush just found his new best friend on this map, may I just add.
We were discussing the other day about having a chicken cam, like getting a camera bound to the point of view of a chicken and just switch to it in all the important moments. But, okay, I think he's following a defined path now as well. I guess it's paused as well, so it moves those couple seconds. Tack pause, I'd say, coming out there from Dignitas, who now get to buy up. So definitely need to think long and hard about how they're going to work this round around. Now, like I've got to say, Config and Kirby have been consistent performance here. Tensky having a much quieter one. Much as Dennis is on the side of mousesports as well. So if either of those two left, I'd actually say it'll be enough to get their respective teams across the line. But it might be too early to tell. You're right with mousesports here as well. And they're going to do a bit of a Dignitas full push on towards this B side.
And this is going to hurt, actually, because not many people are expecting it. But Rabina with the CC stepping up and above what I expected to be possible, picking up 2 already, and that's the information gathered. They've seen the bomb, they know where it is, and everyone's going to pour over. Tensky, MSL, Kiebi, all in the right place. Nico turns the flash, comes out, finds 1, finds 2! This guy is digging his team out of situations now, similar to how Chris J was, and they get the round.
I need to watch what I say there. It was actually a well-placed flash if the player wasn't ready for it, but Nico definitely turns it, then peeks out and gets 2 quick kills. This guy can definitely turn around on its head in just a couple of seconds. So mousesports now 2 rounds in it. And Chris J continuing to stand tall here. Very impressive stuff from him. Now, speaking of the man, he does have himself the AWP and Dignitas. Well, that was an important round. That was their force there, and they lost it. That was the whole point of the tack pause, and it just doesn't seem to have worked out at all. Now they're going back to a full save with the exception of Tensky, who has bought himself a Desert Eagle.
God. Well, normally mousesports almost lose these rounds, Mitch, so you never know. I assume this one is not the one that's going to be that close, bearing in mind, considering they have Soddle. There you go. The Deagle has been removed from Dig, so not going to be a problem. And this should be systematic, clean, and not cost you a rifle. Please, mousesports. Please. There we go. Nicely done, Dennis.
As well, we'll be able to eventually catch on to Kievi as he pushes straight through, and despite the tendency of them to just want to spray down, mousesports are playing this one fairly passively. You can see that actually all of these kills are a result of Dignitas coming to mousesports. And they're just sitting back and allowing this to happen as well. So plenty of respect being offered to Dignitas despite their rough financial situation. It's going to mean that mousesports braved that round, solid any eco, don't lose any lives, don't lose any guns.
I can hear the production room laughing from here. It's like, you know what, like
can
level of IQ they have.
Can that be the Score Esports Player of the Week?
Well, it's better than the hot match, so might as well. Anyway, back into the game. Looks like mousesports are UK there, Mitch.
I'm all good.
There we go. That's how you stop this sort of rush. You need the utility to do it, and that is a sick way of getting things going. Rubino don't need the CZ anymore. He's got a big gun. He can do the work with the grenades and such. And now mousesports need to reset. They were like, all right, let's do that again. It worked really well last time. Now it's like, okay, we're played down. How do we play this 4v5? What's our next gambit here? What's our next play? Because already Kiebi's going hunting. There is someone watching this, though. That's Spiddy. So I don't know if Spiddy saw him cross. I don't know if he did. But Dennis's eyes are also watching this, which could be an issue.
See how the one plays out here. Nico's on a massively wide flank, by the way, towards Long A through his own spawn. So really took his time there. I think he was worried about Dignitas getting up close and personal inside halls. No such thing to be worrying about here, but again, maybe an attempt to sell a little bit of something here over on the B side. But now Kirby in halls. Chris J's going to pick him off there as well with the Tech 9. Goes a little bit low in the process there, so has to be careful. Now Spiddy as well, think about Molotoving in towards that drop. Hard to say where mousesports really want to go here. Nico, again, he's moved to A, so they've called Saul, and he's sent him to the other side of the map now. Nico just trying to shake things up, and he has. Wow, that's one way to sell it. Tensky does go down. MSL now forced to work in from underpass, and 3 mouse players now can work on the 2 Dignitas players at B. Are they even looking the right way? They are. Rubino can catch on towards Dennis. Mousesports have to be careful about this one. Very, very careful. But Mouse also can use Nico. He's going to rotate through connector soon, and Dignitas are ready for it. You can see off to the side it was Config looking the other way, like, okay, he's going to be coming soon.
Oh, God, but time is down to 7 seconds here. And the CT side do just enough to land the shots in the end. That was very, very close, and you can imagine mousesports then. It feels like Dignitas is slowly working out, like, wherever Nico is, they won't be there. We must imagine him a separate entity especially after we stopped that initial play.
This is so well documented, though.
Yeah.
Like, we see it all the time. Or what happens, Nico pushes deep on a site, gets a pick, and then joins the rest of his team, and maybe they all rotate to that site. So I don't know. mousesports may be confusing themselves there as they were all over the map, left, right, and center. I mean, they lost a lot of time. Nico is the widest flank I've ever seen on Cobblestone. And I guess it was for safety's sake, but still cost a lot of time. Now, mousesports, well, Nico has no time left on this earth. His config is just going to dink him right away. And 4 players for mousesports here. Tensky might have a party of it, but Spitty, cleverly enough, shuts him down before that P90 can get rolling.
Cbbe's pretty close, though, which is one saving grace for Dignitas. He's going to take the longer route to get down by kind of APC, try and find a nice angle. Nice shot from Spitty, though, towards MSL. And mousesports hitting shots that I don't really expect, even though Dignitas do have the superior angles in these. Mouse have control of the side. Dennis has crossed. Rubino and Config are left, and they're really not sitting too pretty here. They could do with keeping all these rifles at this point. They are not in any position to challenge.
Especially from Spitty as well, who's definitely more of a hands-dirty kind of guy, a bit more of a utility caddy in some cases. Definitely doesn't try and make himself into a front-runner or superstar. Perfect clean-out by him. Really, really nice to actually anticipate Cbble being close by. And now it is Config and Rubino. We'll stick together here as well. They want to hold on to these AKs. And, well, they at least get on towards Spitty. That's a good start. Safety is key at this stage, and that smoke is going to give them a bit more of that. Yes. Looking to try and get guns away from Dignitas, but doesn't want to lose his life in the process, of course. So we'll have to just settle for information and himself staying alive there. Round now ticks back in favour of mousesports here. The pendulum continues to swing here, but Dignitas are glad they saved at least those 2 rifles, because aside from that, they have bugger all.
Yeah, and Dignitas' CT side has been a little underwhelming unless they've had full utility beside them. There's been a couple of rounds where they've had full utility, and they've been able to kind of like nade out. They've been able to do that double stack to nade towards platform, which actually was just like not necessarily lucky, but it was well timed as to when Mouse were playing that. But now you've got to think, okay, well, mousesports have a good economy starting to build up. So actually they got all the mollies they need. They still got that up on Chris J. They're in a really nice spot here. So Tensky can be boosted up. Going to get a nice little overview and a bit of a kind of stack towards mid almost here. Maybe just trying to cut off mousesports so they do try and push up, do as much damage as they can with very limited weaponry.
We'll see if Tensky's going to be one and done from that position, or if mousesports even filter themselves that way. Look at this, though. They might be able to get all the way down long. Without Dignitas even knowing that. Cbble cleverly enough there. I'll throw the Molotov in that direction. Slowing things up here on the side of mousesports. They do have to take their time, and it will be Chris J at the front. Again, probing. Looking for that opening here as well. He might have one there. It's a great little pick on towards Cbble as well. Will you expect Tensky to be up towards the side? Tensky had best be getting ready. No drop down. Oh, he's going to go for it, actually. Almost gets Chris J, but taking down to 1 health. He now has to jump down, and he's pincered between underpass and the rest of the site, which pretty much under control of mousesports now.
And MSL's going to see the bomb, so that'll mean the rest of the players can come across, and they're going to commit to this round. Config and Rubino are on the site now with the rifles. Tensky behind, but down to absolutely nothing. Really doesn't, bring much to the play. And look at these mollies clearing out every corner. Dig want to wait in. Config has to take the fight. He gets down 1, but I don't think he get much more. He gets 3 in the end, but
Nice spray control. That was alright.
that's a little scary.
There.
Okay, this is 14-14. Suddenly, okay, you know what? mousesports. They've been powering through this game. Dig have not been stepping up to the plate. This could be all but done.
Oh, the money though, not good for Dignitas as well. And this is not good timing for it. They took, I assume they took the gambit last round, and they got good value for it. They got guns away from Mouse, but they just don't have the money now to work with it. And they've got 1 smoke, no armor. Only Rubino and Config actually have upgraded pistols, so this could be pretty nasty now as it pushes over the side. Nico gets there already, gets himself 1 Dennis with 1 himself. Nico gets traded in though. Is Tensky just chilling elsewhere? It was a half push to be as well, so the rest of the team were left behind. But Spitty gets the bomb down, blasting through Dignitas' lineup there as well easily enough. And this just puts mousesports on towards match point with a big comeback on a map that we think is one of Dignitas' very best.
It's more the fact that Mouse have actually come back this well. After losing rounds that were baffling, they've actually recovered very nicely. Now Tensky just leaps into Dennis.
Oh, Dennis.
Oh, poor little
Dennis is
Dennis.
having a bit of a mare. I'm not gonna lie.
Dennis doesn't have the best time of his life, but
He's played okay, to be fair. Like, I don't really fault him in. So, like, you see a lot of situations where you're just getting shot through smoke or naded out, just stack naded or something like that. So it's fine. He's done his job, and the fact that Mouse, and remember I said this, Dennis or Tensky, whichever one of those two starts to fire, can guarantee victory for their teams. Tensky 7-20, Dennis has stepped up a lot here, and mousesports are on match point.
Yeah, and this is big. mousesports have everything they need. They've got the UMP on Nico, which is good enough. They're going to go for a quick play towards drop. They're doing a lovely split towards B. Now Rabino and Config are completely surrounded, flashed up, and Rabino still does some work there. Catches out next. Should be into a 4v4. Rabino somehow stayed alive and allowed Config the chance to now do the damage. There comes Christian, though, flying out with the Tech 9. Bring down to a 3v3. The site is mousesports', but the retake is in Dignitas' hands.
Christian has the bomb. He's just deciding whether he wants to stay and try and peek that one. It's Nico, actually, that gets on towards Tensky after Speedy drops. Will he plant now? In a moment, he will. Kirby is very, very low here. Don't know what he's going to do with the decoy this last round here as well, but he's going to throw that nade out on towards the side. A lot of smoke. And Nico, actually, look at this aggression. He's so low. Don't reload now. God, no! Kirby picks him up, and now it's Chris J left on his own. But we've seen him go 1v4 in this particular circumstance, so don't be counting this man out right now. We missed the shot, though, when he's peaked by MSL. Bit of distraction there from Kirby just to fly his way in, and that's going to be the defuse. It's going to be overtime, and Dignitas just hang on. You
okay there, Alex? What was that?
That comes through on the stream. That's quite nice.
Just,
Yeah. He just wants to get back on and chat more with Yanko, I think. Where they can delve deep more into this Nico fascination.
But that's insane, the mousesports kind of messed that up too.
Oh, Nico reloading. Well, I mean,
well,
I don't know if he had to go aggressive in towards drop there, but reloading, the timing wasn't really favouring him.
It was more the fact that they pretty much had the site under wraps, right? They had, was it 3 plat 2 drop? I can't remember which way it actually came down to it, but they completely outdid the two players who were locked in towards B. And then they actually lose a retake on this map again. Like, mousesports lose the weirdest rounds sometimes. Like, they win like some of the harder ones, but then against a team with just pistols, they find it difficult. It's just, it ends you end up just sitting there scratching your head like, what is that?
Well, I'm not going to lie, I'm really enjoying mousesports as of late. These last couple of weeks have seen, honestly, some big improvements from them here as well. And Cobble, I can get through Cobble, but Inferno is a whole different story. And they played that once this week. Once this year, sorry. Let's get that right. Once this week. Wow, remarkable. Once this year, they've avoided it like the plague. Unfortunately, that's not an option in the Pro League. So let's see, though. Let's settle on this one now. Going into overtime. Let's see if we actually see the AWP brought up as Chris J. Not by the looks of things here. We'll wait. We'll wait. We'll wait. I just want to see, though, if he goes for that one as well, because we know that he's been back and forth between that one once the actual overtime actually starts. And the same can be said of MSL here as well. Oh, there it is. That's the Dragon Lore. Nice.
Rawr. I like the way there's the really badly drawn one as well on Overpass. At the back of Playground, it's like a kid's got crayons out.
Oh, yes.
Like, I would love that to be like the ultimate, like, if you get like the perfect float value on a Dragon Lore, that's what it actually looks like. It just ends up looking absolutely awful. Like some kid with the crayons gone wild.
Or
It'd be amazing.
Alex doing a drawing for one of his stream subs as well. He does MS Paint drawing.
He's a very talented man.
He actually,
what I'd really like though, Mitch, is if we could actually go to the the analysis desk when there was a break, but now it's like actually starting as well.
Yeah, and it was just me just sitting here just waiting to see if something exciting would happen, like Chris J buying an AWP in the first round of overtime. But we're about to find out one way or another. He seems to be deciding. And he'll get it, so.
There you go. You can be excited then, Mitch.
Yes!
That was weird.
Well, he's got 30 kills in regulation time, so that's pretty darn good. I've been enjoying it. Yes! Both he and Config played really nicely, actually. Both 30 kills for them.
Alright, so it'll be mousesports carrying on the T side. This is the thing. So they're going to keep going on that one. They're going to be on the CT side, as they were. And 10k start money. No double AWP to be seen for Dignitas to begin with. Not too surprising. They don't really have it. And actually it is very risky by the third round. You can be really suffering quite severely, which can be such an integral one. But again, guess what's happening? Nico is on his own, and the rest of mousesports are nowhere near him.
Kirby now going to head his way up there as well. Got himself boosted in. Molotov there as well. Just in front of Tensky, not going to bother him, and actually Nico caught Kirby as he pushed quite deeply, getting boosted up from drop. MSL misses a crucial shot, or doesn't get it done, but that's a pretty interesting one towards Dennis. Interesting, I'll say now. We're going to get the close range one, though. Speedy comes straight through at him. It's a 3v2 next. To your dome, mate. Having the backup.
That was a very subpar with Farino coming out from next then. And look how low mousesports are, both down to absolutely nothing. MSL hit, I think it was Chris J actually through the corner of the wall. So Chris J did take the tag in the end. And Config, if only you knew what you just snapped to. Sick shot towards next. And that... Was?
Was war das? Is what's going on in mousesports' comms right now. Actually, no, probably it's a little bit worse.
A little
than that.
blue, yeah, in comparison to that. But yeah, a little bit frustrating, I can imagine. But Config, nice. See, this one you can just like hop on the edge of the APC, that's fine.
Yeah.
But look at this bit of dirt. Filthy.
See you, mate.
Absolutely filthy, Config.
Well, if there's been any reason for Twitch chat to spam VAC, which usually they don't need one, now would be the time. But Kirby now going to be going towards drop. There's going to be a push through there. Nico just goes straight for it. Doesn't give a damn. He does eventually get cut down by Kirby, though, as well. On that. Very back and forth. This is a messy round. But now, Kirby up on site. MSL close by as well. But there is access towards a walkway for mousesports. And Dennis just jumps down. Dennis starting to fire up here. 2 for the round. MSL needs something cute at short range, and he'll get it. Takes the head straight off Spitty at point blank, and Tensky on towards Chris J before that. So now we have the 1v1. Tensky, all the utility you could ever hope for, but his quarry, Dennis, has already left. This man with a quiet game so far, a 4K to win the round for mousesports would be a big lift.
All right, he's going to go plant for long. Jesus, Tensky is taking the rotate of his life.
This could work like an absolute charm, though.
It could do. But Dennis is going to start wondering where the hell he is at this point. Because there's always a chance he's going balcony or something like that, so Dennis is going to be careful of the drop, which he's going to check right now. But as soon as Tensky sees where that bomb is, he has so much utility, he should think of long. But he might have to expose himself before he even takes a shot, which is about now. And he's going to take it. There you go. Sick stuff from Tensky on the retake. He's going to have time for this as well. But again, let's start with this. How does Dignitas not have someone playing drop at the start that allows people like Nico just to flood out and absolutely trash people? Like, as he just steps out with the UMP, just flies in like, hey guys, I'm back again.
Yeah. I think they Molotov'd it as well. I think they were a little bit more concerned about what was going to be happening on Catwalk or on that ledge at the back of B-side. So like, okay, let's just Molotov this, and we've taken care of that. Well, no, because Nico doesn't give a crap about fire. He's going to come straight across it, straight at your face here. That was MSL with that shot at close range, and Tensky managed to get rid of Chris J. Yeah, that was pretty solid from Tensky there, who's had a quiet game. In fact, both of the bottom fraggers for both teams there been put in a very important position. Kirby just gets mowed over the top of their UMP hype for Spitty, but he's going to trade it in pretty quickly now. And Rubino able to get the better of him there, but going very low. So trades back and forth now. 2 on this site for Dignitas. 4 players for mousesports pressing in, but Conflict makes it 2.
Again.
Excellent stuff there. Will he peek out and get the... no, doesn't quite get the kill with the machine pistol, but MSL is there as well to pick up the pieces. And this is a very, very, very good start here for Team Dignitas on this overtime.
Right, Chris J's going to clutch anyway, don't worry about it. He's got this in the bag. He's used to having to do the heavy lifting at this point because every time they go to this site, it comes down to Chris J. And again, the Flying Dutchman strikes again. He takes down Rubino. What is this? I don't understand this game anymore, Mitch. I don't understand.
Well, I think Dignitas probably wish they'd mashed that B button a bit more because Chris J has evolved. Have a look at this one. See you later. And quickly around the corner, is Rubino trying to challenge him. We've seen this scene before multiple times in Chris J. Mastery of the situation, as always. Important round bringing back from mousesports there as well, because Dignitas is still on the cusp of this one. But going 1 and 2 in that half is not too bad for mousesports. Now they get to sit on this CT side. And Nico's bought an AWP already. It's double AWP on the CT side for mousesports. They're going for it.
I guess you have to at this point, right? It's still or die when you're on this point. You're 16, 17. You have to kind of bring back the round to even think about it into the future. So, fair play. I guess it worked well when they went for it before. A bit of a stack towards B, leaving only 1 on long. This could be insanity. Chris J is going to be backing away from this, so it's almost kind of like a replica, right? You got Dig doing the 4-1 split, and now Chris J has to come up with the goods on the CT side.
I mean, no one better than Rubino to try and sell something at B, but MSL make his way out through danger. Has seen nothing yet as well, because Dennis and Chris J give ground up, and they've done this quite well in the past when they've been pressured from long. So if they can set up at the back of A, give that control over, they've thrived in situations where Dignitas have had to come to them. Perhaps that will happen in a different way, though. Look at Tensky backing all the way out. And Dignitas heading through halls as well to B now. I don't really know what Rubino's been trying to do or what he's achieved so far in this round, as we've been watching most of the rest of Dignitas here, but Nico will be waiting for any push out. So Dignitas are going to have to pave the way with correct use of utility, otherwise they're going to fall in a crumpled heap.
So Rubino's just going to be kind of like a gift to the gods at this point, just kind of like on a skewer, just...
Burn off.
Oh, nice. At least they go for the jump on the cross. Kind of expecting that then. 2 players known. Diggo going to go for this B hit here, and the bomb is with MSL. Keep your eyes on that. They are right next to Nex as well, so this is kind of curious. They've got drop under control. They have no pressure towards platform, and mousesports do like to sit further back. They almost back away from B. They give up the site and almost play retake. Spiddy's closer this time, though. You can see they're all playing by connector here, and there you go. Spiddy gets caught out. Now the rest normally coming to the matter. That being Nex first up, takes the shot. Beautiful spray down from Nex. Denies 3 players from pushing through. Can't quite make it to the 4th, but Dignitas are now down to 2, but Tensky and Rubino left to do it all.
That may not have been enough there. That big effort, of course, from Nex. 2 players now from mousesports versus 2 of Dignitas, and the bomb. It should make its way over. Rubino is in position to plant that one down, and Dennis going to join up. They're going to try and interrupt this one as well, but the plant is done. mousesports not able to stop that one now, and they've got to hit this side, and they don't have much to work with. It's just Dennis left, and he's flashed out completely. Rubino and Tensky just off towards the side. This could be a heartbreaker for mousesports. This would be match point also for Dignitas. Smoke for Dennis on the side. Just setting this one up here as well. Has a kit. A lot of damage being taken. Actually only 33 now. It's actually the defuse, surely not. No, Rubino shuts him down. Sometimes you just had to expect that there may be a possibility that the sneaky defuse will work, Forest, but not this time.
Yeah, that can happen. All right, Dig. That was mildly terrifying, and I kind of feel that Spiddy was out of spot then, because I actually like the way mousesports play. Once they know that Dignitas are doing that B hit, they all kind of like fall back towards connector, you know, just wait it out basically, let all that utility come down. If they plant, they plant. So what? They play full retake, which is actually really nice to watch. But now here we go, Dig again, T-side coming up. Early pressure towards Chris J. Dennis though is with him this time, so maybe not as so alone here and won't be caught out initially.
Dignitas in no hurry to hit a particular side right now. They're just going to gather themselves together on A and try and make it work. Just AKs for the entirety of that squad, and Mouse have impoverished themselves to get another AWP in the hands of Chris J. They do not have a lot of money.
But Digger going up against 3 players here already. Nico soloing B. Spiddy's going to be on the way. They're going to go all in on this one. Kiebi's going to have to open this up pretty darn fast, or someone will have to.
They've crossed so much ground already. Dignitas getting on towards this side, and Config gets a great start. Chris J goes down. MSL also gets on towards Dennis, and Rubino picks up Nex. Not able to get value. Just trading out now, and only 2 players left for mousesports, and they have a big divide to cross to get towards this side. Rubino will be the first target in their way. Tensky back off watching long. Then Spiddy just has to sit there and wait till the smoke clears, and then the Molotov follows it up. Spiddy has to find another way to get towards this side, and Nico as well. Thinking about options as well. Rock, paper, scissors. Who goes first, boys? It's going to be Spiddy as well. Nico picking that one with him now, and it's all or nothing for mousesports. They press forward. Nico's lost his teammates, but he only needs himself. He almost gets the 3rd. But he is going to fall down. Dignitas get it done in overtime, but mousesports, well, they made them work for it, Lauren.
But you've got to feel some of those rounds that mousesports lost are ones that you go back onto and you watch back and you'll be kicking yourself. Because honestly, the amount of times Dignitas on a pistol were able to cause so much issue for mousesports is unbearable to witness. Those are rounds. Okay, the first one's a little unfortunate, let's say. Let's just write that up to we weren't expecting it. The second time in a row, and they actually lose it, is insane. That should never be done. But again, Dignitas never seemed to give up. We saw great plays from, Nex coming out. We saw Chris J performing. This is set up for a very interesting game. Considering how one-sided that map should have been, that was a very good one to watch. Absolutely.
And speaking of one-sided maps, it's Inferno coming up next, which we haven't seen too much of mousesports on in recent times, but we'll leave that to the desk. Let's pass it over now to the gents to break that game down. What a match.
What a match indeed. A map that people would have coined going to way of the Dignitas. It's one of the maps that they succeed most on. mousesports making them work. Chris J making them work specifically. The dude was just on and has been recently, Yanko.
Definitely, he's been on the rise of form, around the Columbus qualifiers and Katowice as well. He has been underperforming. I mean, there's no way around it, but he has stepped up. Definitely, Nico, that I always talk, I mean, he is in great form generally, but hasn't really been, on par in this game in particular. But as the casters pointed out, I mean, it's these anti-force buy rounds that always seem to, cause problems for these teams. And of course, it went into overtime. And just imagine if Mouse played it properly in that one round after Chris J won the crazy 1v4 or 1v3, was it? Yeah. They could have won the game in regulation.
They really could have, and Dignitas still finding success on Cobble, albeit a lot tighter. I do want to bring up Config as well. This individual, has he had like a sterling offline performance? Everyone giving him this kind of tag that Chris J once had, this online J tag. I don't know what Configs could be. Or maybe the O in onliner can be just a 0. But generally, Config has been having a lot of success in an online environment. And that game was no exception.
It's true. I feel he has had more success online than offline, but it's not the story as it was with Kirby last year, that he's been underperforming for a long time. He had good performances online as well, but still needs to catch up, right? Considering he is really a beast online. But yeah, Chris J had the best performance here. And although Dignitas had a great first half, we know that Cobble is pretty much a T-sided map nowadays, because the cities don't have many options. They can't fight for map control in a lot of places, and you can see how Dignitas is really good at getting control of A-holes and then executing after that. And even if teams can predict it at some point, you saw in a couple of rounds, mousesports even had 3 players towards that area, right? But Dignitas would still, had the correct smokes, they flashed in, they got all the good trade kills, and they would still win the round in spite of that.
It feels like with Dignitas on these kind of A takes, they do just kind of have a very methodical process of elimination. Like they quite literally, where they set themselves up, and then it's a case of just like gradually, it's like a plague spreading over the A site. So Tensky here like pushes up for control towards like Titanic and just then starts to work towards APC. It's very methodical. And Dignitas, would you say that one of their strengths on Cobble is that A take on the T side? Do they have any similar kind of strengths on towards B?
Yeah, definitely. I think that's their main strength, that slow A play. But also at times you could see it from them and from Mouse as well a bit. They would change the pace immediately, because you can see how the cities try to adapt by sending 3 people towards A, and then the obvious counter is, if you can get that read, just rush B, right? You saw in that one round where Dignitas players were slowly moving towards A, it was a fake. They were really convinced that it would be an A take, and it's really hard it's even hard for 3 players to hold B, let alone for 2 of them, because they don't have good spots where they can hide from either B platform or drop, and if they don't have control of either, it's pretty much an uphill struggle.
And perhaps it will continue to be so, as we are going to be going into Inferno, a map that I'm looking forward to hearing your thoughts on, considering you were expecting this one to go the way of Dignitas on Cobble.
Easiest prediction of my life.
As always, all right, Mr. Overtime. But we are going to go ahead and take a break. Take 5 before we do come back with our final game of the night. I hope you guys are enjoying it so far. But when we come back, it will be Inferno, and Dignitas are going to be battling to make it 2-0 to advance their standings here in the ESL Pro League.